Hello, English learners, and welcome back to Education Exploration Hub. I'm Sophia, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. Whether you're commuting, cooking, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, you're in the right place.
And I'm Dylan. Sophia, before we dive in, I have to ask, have you ever woken up on a Monday morning and just felt heavy? Like the week hasn't even started, but you're already exhausted?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I felt that way just yesterday. Sunday evening hit me hard. I was sitting on my couch, supposedly relaxing, but my brain was already racing through everything I had to do this week. Emails to send, calls to make, deadlines creeping up.
The Sunday scaries. We've all been there. Your body is resting, but your mind is already at work. And that's actually what inspired today's topic.
Exactly. Today, we're exploring something that affects every single one of us, the power of positivity. But before you roll your eyes and think we're about to tell you to just smile more, hear us out.
Yes, this isn't about fake happiness or ignoring your problems. This is about real, practical ways to shift your mindset when life feels overwhelming. And we're keeping this at a B1 level, so if you're an intermediate English learner, you're in the perfect spot.
If you're at an A2 level, stick with us. You'll understand more than you think, and you can always replay sections. Learning a language is a journey, not a race.
So grab your tea, get comfortable, and let's talk about how our thoughts shape our days and how we can gently reshape them.
Let's start with a question. When you're in a bad mood, where do you usually look for relief?
For me, my phone, without question. I'll scroll through social media, watch random videos, read comments, and honestly, half the time I end up feeling worse.
Same here, and that's because we're looking for happiness in the wrong places. Here's the first truth we need to sit with. Your happiness switch is inside you, not in your phone, not in other people's approval, not in a bigger paycheck.
That sounds nice in theory, but let's be real. When you're in a dark place, that switch feels impossible to find.
Oh, absolutely. I've had mornings where my brain immediately starts playing a highlight reel of every mistake I've ever made. Remember that awkward thing you said in 2019? Remember that email you never replied to? Remember how everyone else seems to have their life together?
Why does our brain do that? It's like having a roommate who only points out what's wrong.
Right? And that's what we call dwelling. To dwell on something means you stay there. You don't just visit a negative thought, you move in and unpack your bags.
And when you dwell on negative thoughts, they get heavier. It's like adding stones to a backpack you're already carrying.
That's exactly how it feels. Last month, I had one of those days. Nothing specifically terrible happened, but my outlook, the way I was viewing my life, was completely gray.
So what did you do?
At first, nothing productive. I stayed in bed, scrolled through bad news, read negative comments, compared myself to people online. I was basically feeding my sadness.
Giving it a full meal.
Exactly. But then I remembered something a friend once told me. She said, "You can't always change how you feel, but you can always change what you do in the next 5 minutes."
That's powerful. So what did those next 5 minutes look like?
I put my phone down, that was the hardest part. Then I opened my window just to feel some fresh air. I played one song that always makes me smile. Nothing deep, just an upbeat, silly song. Then I made myself a simple breakfast and went for a 10-minute walk around my neighborhood.
And did it fix everything?
Not at all. My problems were still there. The bills, the worries, the uncertainty, all of it. But something shifted. The weight felt slightly lighter. It was like I'd taken one small rock out of that backpack.
I love that. You didn't solve your life, but you interrupted the pattern. You short-circuited the negativity.
Short circuit, that's a great way to put it. In electricity, a short circuit stops the normal flow. In life, it means breaking a harmful cycle before it consumes you.
And that's really what positivity is about. Not pretending everything's perfect, but choosing, even for 5 minutes, to step onto a different path.
Think of your mind as a garden. If you don't intentionally plant good seeds, weeds will grow on their own. Negative news, old regrets, other people's drama, those are the weeds. But when you plant one small seed of gratitude, one short walk, one kind thought, you're cultivating something different.
And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to be positive all the time. That's not realistic. You're human. You're going to have days when you cry, when you're exhausted, when you feel hopeless.
But even on those days, you have that tiny switch. You can ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do right now that's kind to myself?
That question alone can change everything. Now, let's talk about something that drains so many of us: worry.
Oh, I'm a professional worrier. I could win medals in worrying.
Same. I've had entire nights where my brain was running through every possible disaster.
What if I lose my job? What if I say the wrong thing? What if people don't like me? What if something happens to someone I love?
The what if monster. And here's the cruel joke: most of the things we worry about, we cannot control.
I remember one night I was lying in bed, heart racing, completely overwhelmed, and suddenly this thought hit me. I'm trying to control the entire universe from my pillow.
From your pillow. That's such a clear image. You're just lying there, but your mind is trying to manage world peace, your finances, your relationships, and tomorrow's weather.
Exactly. And that's when I realized I was spiraling. Spiraling means one small worry leads to a bigger one, which leads to an even bigger one, until you've convinced yourself that one forgotten reply will ruin your entire life.
We've all been there. So how do you stop the spiral?
I did something very simple. I grabbed a notebook and drew two circles. In the first circle, I wrote things I can control. In the second, things I cannot control.
I love this exercise. What went in your control circle?
Small, practical things. What time I go to sleep, whether I check my phone first thing in the morning, what I eat for breakfast, if I send a thoughtful message to a friend, how many minutes I spend learning something new, whether I go for a walk.
And the cannot control circle?
Everything else, other people's opinions, the news, the past, my old mistakes, what someone thinks of me, the economy, the weather, other people's choices.
And when you looked at those two circles, what did you notice?
About 90% of my anxiety lived in the second circle. My brain was exhausting itself over things I could never change.
You were trying to keep your head above water in an ocean that doesn't belong to you.
Keep your head above water. Such a perfect phrase. It means just surviving, barely managing, struggling not to drown.
So what did you do with those circles?
I made a simple agreement with myself. When I notice myself worrying about something in the cannot control circle, I give myself permission to acknowledge it. Yes, I see that worry. Hello, worry. But then I gently move my attention to something in my control circle.
Not ignoring the worry, but not living there either.
Exactly. And then I choose one small action from my control circle. Drink a glass of water, take 5 deep breaths, step outside for 1 minute, text someone I love.
It's like moving from a crowded, noisy street into a quiet garden.
That's exactly it. For me, sometimes that quiet garden is just sitting against a wall, closing my eyes and imagining waves on a beach. I tell myself, right now, I don't need to fix my entire life. I just need to breathe.
And that gentle redirection, is a form of positivity. It's not loud and flashy, but it's deeply powerful.
Now, let's talk about goals, because this is another area where we often sabotage ourselves.
Oh, goals. The things that are supposed to inspire us, but often just make us feel inadequate.
Exactly. Have you ever set a goal and then immediately felt anxious about it?
Constantly. I'll decide I want to learn a new skill, and within 5 minutes, I'm calculating how many hours I need to master it and feeling guilty that I'm not already fluent.
Right. And then you look at social media and see someone your age who seems to have it all figured out. The beautiful house, the exciting career, the perfect relationships.
The grass is always greener, isn't it? That idiom means other people's lives look better from the outside, but you don't see their struggles.
A few years ago, I went through a period where I felt completely stuck. I had a job, but I wasn't fulfilled. I didn't know what I wanted next, and every night my brain would torment me with I should statements. I should earn more. I should be more successful. I should have everything figured out by now.
Those shoulds are so heavy.
One night, I couldn't sleep, and I asked myself a different question. Instead of what's wrong with me, I asked, what's one small change I could make?
That's a beautiful reframe.
I took a piece of paper and wrote 3 tiny goals, one for my body, one for my mind, and one for my heart.
What were they?
For my body, walk outside for 20 minutes every day after dinner. For my mind, spend 20 minutes learning something related to the career I wanted. For my heart, send one genuine message to someone I care about, every single day.
Those are so simple. They don't feel overwhelming at all.
That was the point. Before, I was stuck in a rut. Stuck in a rut means living the same uninspired day over and over, feeling trapped, but not knowing how to change. These tiny goals gave my brain a new direction.
It's like driving through fog. You can't see the whole road, but you can see the next few meters, and those few meters are enough to keep moving forward.
Exactly. After a few weeks, I noticed shifts. My evening walks improved my mood. My 20 minutes of learning built my confidence. Those small messages deepened my relationships.
You started to bounce back. Bounce back means recovering gradually after a difficult period, like a ball that hits the ground and rises again.
And here's what I want every listener to hear. You don't need massive, intimidating goals. You need clear, kind goals. Clear so you know what to do, and kind so you don't crush yourself with pressure.
But Sophia, let's be honest. Sometimes even with good habits and small goals, life just hurts.
Yes, and we have to talk about that too.
A few years ago, I went through a breakup that completely flattened me. There was no dramatic fight, no huge scandal. It just ended. And suddenly the world felt colorless.
I'm so sorry. Those quiet heartbreaks can be the hardest.
For weeks, I didn't want to do anything. I just lay in bed, listened to sad music, and brooded. To brood means to sit with a sad thought for so long that it becomes your entire atmosphere.
What pulled you out of it?
A friend who wouldn't let me disappear. He called and said, "Look, you're allowed to be sad. Of course you are. But you also have to move your body. You don't have to run a marathon, just walk."
That's a good friend.
He met me for coffee and a short walk, and that walk didn't heal my heart, but it helped me breathe. And I learned something crucial. When you're in pain, you can't think your way out of it. You have to live your way through it.
Live your way through it. Not just think about it, not just dwell on it, but take small physical steps forward.
Exactly. Shower. Eat something. Move your body. Talk to one safe person. These aren't dramatic solutions, but they're anchors.
I love that word, anchors, things that keep you grounded when you feel like you're drifting.
If you're going through something painful right now, a loss, a disappointment, a heartbreak, please hear this. You don't have to pretend to be okay, but try not to live inside the pain every single moment.
Think of the pain like a heavy backpack. You have to carry it for a while, but you don't have to sit on the ground and stop moving. You can walk slowly with it, and over time, it gets a little lighter.
There's one more practice I want to share for when problems feel overwhelming.
Please do.
When something is really confusing or scary, I take a piece of paper and write, "The problem is," and then I finish that sentence in one simple line. Not a paragraph, not a novel, just one clear sentence.
That forces clarity.
Exactly. For example, the problem is I feel isolated in this new city. Or the problem is I don't know how to manage this bill. Just one sentence.
Then what?
Then I write 3 small things I could try. Not perfect solutions, just possibilities. For feeling isolated, join one local group this month. Reach out to one old friend and suggest a call. Visit a public place like a library or cafe once a week.
So you move from I have a problem to I'm working through this problem.
Yes, work through means to gradually process something difficult step by step instead of avoiding it.
That's real positivity, not fake cheerfulness, but quiet courage.
Quiet courage, I love that. because life will always have challenges, but how we respond to them, one small step at a time, shapes everything.
And often, the next move is yours. The ball is in your court. That idiom means it's your turn to act. The situation is what it is, and now you decide your next small step.
Not a perfect step, not a giant leap, just a small, kind step in a slightly better direction.
So today we've talked about where happiness really comes from. Inside you, one small choice at a time. We've talked about worry and how to stop spiraling by focusing on what you can actually control. We've talked about goals that inspire rather than intimidate. And we've talked about moving through pain with quiet courage.
4 big topics, but one simple message. Small, positive actions repeated gently over time can transform your life.
You don't need to overhaul everything by tomorrow. You just need to take one small step today. Open a window, send a kind message, take a short walk, breathe deeply for 60 seconds.
And as you practice these small shifts, your brain learns a new habit, a habit of hope, a habit of resilience.
Before we go, we'd love to hear from you. In the comments, tell us where are you listening to today and what's one small positive step you want to try this week.
I'm in Mexico City, and my small step is to start each morning with 5 minutes of silence before looking at my phone.
I'm in London, and my step is to take a proper lunch break away from my desk, even just 15 minutes outside.
If this episode resonated with you, please like and subscribe to Education Exploration Hub. Share it with one friend who might need a little lift today.
Every like, every comment, every share helps more learners find their way here, and we read every single comment.
So take care of yourself, be gentle with your mind, and remember, you don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to keep moving, slowly, in a kinder direction.
This is Sophia.
And this is Dylan.
Thanks for listening. Bye for now.